Absolutely beautiful. Now let's move to the latter part of our conversation. Now these are questions that have been sent through by our Sports Mvt online community, and they just simply want to get to know you a little bit better, and of course get to know a little bit more about your journey in the sport of mountain biking as well. Let's start off with this question. This one comes from Maseo, and Maseo talks about race day. She simply asks, what does your day look like on race day?
So it depends if I'm doing a marathon race or if I'm doing a cross-country race. Cross-country races, we normally start at around 12 o'clock or 11 o'clock. And sometimes also in the afternoon at 5 o'clock. So it all depends what time you are starting. But generally, I'll do a little spin in the morning. I'll do my yoga routine and eat breakfast. I'll meditate a bit, do my Bible study, and then get race ready. The days leading up to it as well, I do a lot of mental prep, going through courses, and of course also the physical training side of things. But race day, you usually have done everything in advance already. You've set out your bottles, you've prepped your clothes, you've done everything you need to do, so that when race day comes, you literally just have to grab and go. I basically try and control everything I can, and to make things as smooth and as effortless as possible for race day. And then go to the track, do a warm-up, go to the start boxes, wait for that doof doof sound of the start, and then head out and do a cross-country race. It's quite simple actually. But that's basically race day for a cross-country. For marathons, it's a little bit different. You wake up in the morning quite early, usually in South Africa, and gobble down as much food as you can, and head down to the track, do a little warm up, go to the boxes, and head on out for a 4 or 5 hour day on the bike.
Wow, did you just say 4 or 5 hour day on the bike?
Yeah, marathon racing is quite long. I think that's why I edged more towards the cross country, which is an hour and a half of jam-packed fun, and then you're done.
All right, let's address this question from Nathan. Now, Nathan touches on something that's quite important as well. He says, how important is health and wellness in cross-country mountain biking before, during, and after a race? And specifically here, I would like to talk about mental health, because I think mental health is a trend that we are now seeing in the sporting world that a lot of athletes are now bringing to the foreground. How important are some of these aspects for you as you prepare for these races? Because I'm certain it's not just the preparation on race day, it's probably months in advance that leads up to race day.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to get real with you here. I don't know if you guys know, I had COVID-19 right at the beginning, like when it was still like the unknown. So I was a trendsetter. And then actually I started struggling with mental problems after that. I was like, no man, it's probably just pandemic, and turns out there's something called a long COVID, which they're finding with people that weren't hospitalized and didn't have as severe problems, which, like, you get mind fog and depression and like a whole bunch of those things. So actually at the end of last year, I was like, I need help. So this is when this all came out. So I want to send out this message to everyone, so that people are aware of it as well, because I mean, I got the help I needed. I am on medication for that, which I'm very thankful for, and we have the help for it. So yeah, it's a scary thing, but your mental side of things, and linking that up with racing, I mean, you can't race your bike and level. It's that 1% that makes a massive difference. And if you're unable to get up out of your bed in the morning, then it's going to be very hard to push yourself to race a bike. And that's with any sport, I feel. it's something that we need to address and we need to be aware of.
Definitely. I think earlier in the interview, we spoke about being hardkoppig, meaning you have to persevere, you need to push yourself, you need to drive yourself. But I think, as you now mentioned, that it's so important for you to differentiate when you should take a step back and to actually help and feed yourself. Because at the end of the day, you can be as stubborn as you want to, but if you need additional support and additional help, it's so important for you to look for that help and to get it as well.
For sure.
Now, the next question comes through from Charles. And Charles is asking about how much space should I leave between myself and the person in front of me just in case I fall. And to be honest, this is actually a common thing in mountain biking. There are so many people that fall or they literally crash into the person right in front of them. Give us a little bit of the technical side as to how far should that following distance be between you and the next person.
You know, the tricky part is the question you should actually ask is how much do you trust the person that's in front of you? If you are super confident with their abilities, then you can be right on their wheel. That's not a problem. If you are skeptical and they're looking a little bit dodgy and unsure, then maybe leave like 2 bike lengths space between you guys.
But then doesn't that make it a little bit more difficult? Because I'm thinking about overtaking now. So if you were to overtake the person, how would you navigate that? Because I'm assuming at some point you have to get close to them and then make the strategic move.
This is it, eh? So yeah, it's all about trust. When it comes to elite racing, everybody on the circuit is usually at the same level, and you know your customer, so you tend to learn each other's strengths and weaknesses, and you know where to sit and when to not be on someone's wheel. So you find a flow and you get a feeling for it.
Now, Fred sends through this question. He talks about what is the highest achievement that you would like to achieve in your career as a cross-country mountain biker and coach?
Yeah, so Olympics, I think, and not just to compete there. I would really like to have a great result, and then also at Commonwealth Games. Podium, I feel next year is definitely achievable. And coaching wise, yeah, I just want to see my athletes be the best they can and achieve what their dreams and goals are.
Now, 𝗀𝗹𝗹 sends through this question. He simply asks, why did you venture into coaching and what is it that you do at Science to Sport and at the Sports Science Institute of South Africa?
So Science to Sport is the coaching platform that actually I'm a part of as well. I've been coached by Prof. Jeroen Swart for about 8 years now. So I'm very familiar with their system and their setup, and I'm a qualified sports scientist. I studied BSc Sports Science at Stellenbosch University. So I think coaching chose me rather than me choosing coaching. I've been involved with the sport so much, and it's just really nice to give back and to pass some of my knowledge on to other athletes as well. And at Science to Sports, I am, like I said, I'm a sports scientist, so I work in the bike lab there. We do bike fits with 𝗀𝗀𝗱, and then also do performance testing, VO2 max, and things like that. So it's really nice to see the science part of it as well, and to also implement what I studied.
Oh, absolutely beautiful. Now, after that long conversation, Mariske Strauss, I would simply love to thank you so much for your time and the amazing work that you're doing both on and off the racetrack as you grow the sport of cross-country mountain biking. And trust me that we as South Africans are incredibly proud of you because you're shining the spotlight on a sport that we don't know too well. And it's so beautiful to see one of our very own South Africans competing internationally as well. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for joining us on the Sports Mvt Insider.
Thanks so much, Aaron. I really appreciate it. And yeah, just a huge shout out also to my sponsors, especially my South African ones, Cadence Nutrition and Roller Motors. Yeah, it's without them, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. And yeah, just thanks to everybody that's interested and showing interest in the sport of mountain biking. It's such a stunning sport, and really, if you get a chance, go check it out. And thanks for the support and the shouting, and look forward to bring you some gold medals home.
Definitely. We'll keep you accountable next year in Birmingham. And
it's happening.
Paris.
It's official now.
And then in Paris as well. We would love to see you at the Olympic Games. Thank you so much for your time.
Super. Thanks so much.
Happiness. Thank you. You're locked on to the Sports Mvt Insider, a podcast for unrelenting coverage of women in sport. Thank you so much for joining me this week. I absolutely loved diving deeper into the journeys of our athletes, coaches, and administrators to get to know them a little bit better than we do. Coming up next week, we bring you another athlete, coach, or administrator, and she shares her incredible and inspiring journey with us. Keep it locked onto Sport Mvt, where we celebrate women in sport.